I talk to a spirit. She comes in my dreams.
What is the path to awakening supposed to look like? To feel like? How do you know if you are on it? We ask these very sacred and sometimes vulnerable questions to many different women from all walks of life. A conversation that needs to be shared and heard. I'm Jo Hendy.
I'm Amanda Parker.
And welcome to the Girl Awakening podcast.
Happy. We're so happy that we don't.
We're so happy that I'm just like so chill. My mic's way over there, and I'm
free
Hello,
balling.
Amanda. Free balling.
Hello, Jo.
Oh wow, here we are. So
12/12.
I know.
Mountain
How crazy
Gateway.
is that?
Yes.
I can't believe we're in December for starters.
Yes.
Summer is upon us, which we've been feeling already.
Frangipanis everywhere.
Yeah, and the storms, which I love.
Oh,
I
yes.
actually love the storms.
Tropical storms are epic here on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Come and visit and enjoy them with us.
Yes.
Come sit in the studio.
But we're here to hand it all over to our beautiful Zhara. Who's here.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome, Zhara.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Again, this is always such a special time
Yeah.
in my month. I love it.
Yeah, me
Kasi
too.
tukunayanas, yeah. So it's just it feels like a rebirth time right now, actually, for each and every one of us. Can I just launch in?
Absolutely.
Go for
okay?
it.
'Cause
The
it's just
vibe
like,
is,
it seems to just be coming through. Okay, so yeah, I hope everyone's going well out there in this time, and it's time to slow down and reset. And so we're going to look very clearly at the heart and how to open up more joy in your life. Because joy is what you want to see as you move into the new year. And to see this year out from that space will catalyze a shift in your reality. And remember, not everything's pleasant on the outside. And your life can't be dictated by the external. It has to be the internal growth, the internal soil, the internal seed that you water and that you feed. So that's where we're going today. Kunayana, Sumayana, Siyatayana, Sumaya. I'm going to give it back to you, ladies, for a few minutes.
Oh,
but that's the seed that just wants to be nurtured
Yeah.
right now.
Thank
It's
you.
felt. And I get it. You know, there's it's one of those times of year, and I think we feel it every December, where, you know, we're getting closer to Christmas and family and, you know, time together, and there are a lot of people out there that don't have that either, you know, and this lack of joy that's present within our society at the moment is probably seen and felt more deeply now more than ever. It's something that never goes away, but so yeah, you know, just it's time to just kind of step up and be kind to everybody, say hello to everybody, smile to everybody, check in with everybody. You know, it's if you're able to, and you know that that's in you, then, you know, it's time to use it.
It's free gifting.
It's so free gifting. It's what's needed more than ever.
And to nurture the relationships that are present in your life
Yeah.
with whatever is required to bring them into balance.
Yeah. Yes.
So it could be stepping away, it could be leaning in, it could be leaning into your heart, more so now than ever, when you think of a certain person that's created chaos in your life. It's time to really undo harm done. And it's for your own self, also for the other, but it's mainly for this collective shift. If we want to see peace on earth, we have to be the change.
Look, for our listeners, that's our little thing, our light up sign today is peace on
Yeah,
earth.
that's perfect. And so many people are calling for this, especially at this time on the planet. But how do you really be that gift? That gift of change that you want to be? because it's never going to come from the external. It's only your heart that will lead the way. So how can you be the change? And that's going to be prevalent for the next year. It's not just today, not just this month. But how can you lead the way? And joy, it's one of the biggest gifts that we've been given, to return to our heart and emanate it from the internal into the external planes. And that's how you create change. Internally to the external. So Amanda, how are you feeling about joy?
Oh, it makes me sparkle. I mean, it's kind of, well, I'm going to go to what you just said about the internal to the external, because it's going to lead me back to the joy, because in my business, which is like skincare, herbal teas, nutrition, our premise is inside out, as above, so below. How we nurture our internal world and reflects in our external world with, skincare, herbal teas, nutritional blends. And in the beauty world, and in the health wellness world, inside and out is like one of those terms that's thrown around really lightly, and without probably a full comprehension of what it really means. And when we're talking in this space of loving self enough to trust our own self and our expression out into the world, as opposed to looking externally, translating that into something that we are, and then pushing it back out. For me, that is just such freedom and such joy. You just instantly feel the lightness and the exhale in that moment. And so for me at the moment, I'm feeling a lot of joy around letting go of some very old stuff, and the freedom of the space that's there for me to move into.
Because you don't have to be anyone that you don't want to be. And that's true for any of us, in every circumstance, on every level. We can be free to be who we are, and that's the expression of love. And love comes with joy. It's an internal match. And so what brings you joy? What really brings you the gift of joy in your life? Because if you can find it externally, you know you're on the right path to match with it in the internal planes. If you're doing a job or a career or a life sentence in a relationship because you think you have to, that's the wrong path for you, unless it brings you an eternal expression of life from within. That which is joy, that which is love. So we always have ability to make change and to choose life, to choose that freedom to express, the freedom to be who you came to be, because that will light you up. Each and every time, that will set you free. So who are you here to be? It's
so powerful.
Yeah.
I keep getting intention, and I keep getting change the narrative. Like we're going to get the same results if we keep playing the same way. We actually need to start setting new intentions, and changing the way that we view things. or else we're just going to keep repeating the same things. And that's where the intention comes in. You know, what is your intention? Do you want to create more joy in your world? Or do you want to keep playing the same way and saying, yeah, but I'm joyful? And just use the word.
Yeah.
It's not really, you know, the expression of who I want to be anyway. I want to really feel the essence of joy inside of me. I don't want to see it as a word anymore that's just comes out around Christmas or, you know.
Yes. When you get the things, when you get the presents,
Yeah.
when you get the external validation
Yeah.
of love from another, what really sparks you up? What is lighting you from the depth of your soul? And it comes back to, who are you here to be? Because we're all ready to step up and use our voice and to take care of each other and to create change from this space. It's an idealized vision. New earth, peace on earth.
Yeah.
But it's one, Kayana Sutta Syataya, that has already taken hold in reality. Because people are already living this. There are communities who have found this niche in how to live in harmony, in peaceful cooperation. There are not many, but they do exist.
Yeah.
So if you can light up your world, your internal spark from within, you'll naturally gravitate towards your own Sutta Gunayana Sumaya and small scale sustainable communities. It's a must for this time ahead. So make sure you plant the seed from within and then move without. Syatayana Gunayana Sumayana Sya.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's a couple of things just went through my mind then. Like one, I was watching a gardening program, and it's a journey through the Adriatic, and a lot of these gardens have been planted for their beauty and their pure enjoyment of the plants. And there was this one country who's been through incredible turmoil and shifts, Croatia, where the overriding, like there was a lot of beauty there in the country with the gardens, but the overriding message around plants was they were grown for food. They were seen only as their purpose being for food. And for me that really but there's a movement there of people who are planting for beauty, and people are coming to enjoy the beautifulness of the plants. At first they're confused around, but you can't eat it. Like, you know, because people, you know, they had to survive through a lot of different things. And I think it's kind of, for me, it's feeling symbolic of what you're describing around changing the intention and the narrative around how we see our lives and see what we're here for. So it's not just about survival. It's around, you know, being in imagination, being in joy, being in creativity, and
Being of service.
Yeah, the humanity is, I think that's going to be one of, you know, the humanity of it's not just a row of people. It's, you know, everyone holding hands around the planet, you know, that the idealism is not a fictitious concept. It is a reality when we step into the space of joy and love. Because anything is possible.
Anything's possible, and regardless of difference, if you can hold that frequency of love and joy and compassion for your neighbor, even though they may have a completely different view of the world, as long as they can hold that same resonance, you'll meet. And that is what's required in order to make a cataclysmic shift here. You can't fight anymore. You have to be willing to accept differences and create change from that space.
And that's where that responsibility comes in too. You know, if you're aware of the differences then, you know, it may be an opportunity for you to move into a new space of responsibility, self-responsibility for all, not just for you, to change the outcome or to change where that relationship may have been playing or wherever, you know, that allowance, the responsibility, the intention, all of those things come into play for the greater good of all, not just self.
And I think the play there is that even if you, but starting off thinking I'm doing this for me, you are inevitably doing it for others. And you get to expand into the space where you feel yourself move into, oh, I'm doing this for others. And then it comes back to doing it for you because of how it feels. And it's a cyclical expression
it's
and
a
connection
flow,
and resonance, as you're saying, the flow. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Because we always, you know, the other side to that is we always want something from something, don't we? If I'm going to do this, and I'm hoping unconsciously or consciously, if I'm going to step out of my comfort zone, then I really want a reward. You know, where I'm learning that the way is, you know, you actually have to step into the uncomfortable space and go somewhere new to have a new outcome, to change the outcome. Because if you keep going where you've always played, you're going to get the same results.
Yeah. So how do we give just because we have the ability to do so?
Yeah.
And that is a complete paradigm shift because we've lived on a reward and gratification survival-based system.
It's a condition, isn't it?
It's a complete condition.
Yeah.
And it's one that's kind of, its hand's been played and a new deck is being dealt right now, or dealt right now, I should say. And how do we grasp that and run with it and move forward? Because we're the ones who are going to create the shift. Your listeners right here are that cataclysmic cycle of change. They have it in their hearts to create something different.
Yeah.
Or they wouldn't be here. They'd still be playing out the same stories.
True.
And so they're like the forerunners and the bringers of the new dawn, so to speak. So, you know, I create this challenge for each one of us here, including myself. How do we just gift without expecting to receive?
That's so beautiful.
So that's selfless.
That's true. That's true of service there.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I sit here and I'm listening to the words and I'm like, yeah, it's a hard one to master in full integrity because you have to have your entire heart behind it and your entire trust and faith in the universal energy of co-creation.
Yeah.
Because it's not just manifestation and the laws of attraction anymore. Now you're working with your destiny card. Because if you're on path in service, if you're here for the greater good, all that I understand is the universe has your back.
Yeah. Not worrying about the outcome, just knowing that it's the right thing to do. Like I don't even, consciously is not even the right word. It's like universly.
Hand it
right
over
and
and just, And when you were just speaking before around, I have a coin, a French coin, and it's got a hole in the middle, and it's has on it liberté, égalité, fraternity, freedom, equality, brotherhood, sisterhood, and who knows? Probably, knowing the French, it goes back to times when they had, wars and revolutions and things like that, and all of us have been in that pain field of being in some kind of war or conflict in some time of our beingness. But I just thought then when you were speaking, what if this revolution happens with that very shift that you were just speaking around, and there's not a drop of blood, there is not a tear except for of joy.
Yeah, wow.
And we can just do that.
And that's a space we can step up into. And enough of us have to be that bridge to have the collective shift. And it's not necessarily going to happen overnight, but it can.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the power of universal intent. And when enough people take hold of a certain concept or a certain cause and make it their own and truly find that space of love and joy within, that can sometimes, be a bit of work to get to because of all these overlays. But it's not impossible, and it's not necessarily difficult. Sometimes it's just stepping back into the present moment and laying everything else down.
Oh, yeah.
That's the bridge, is your breath
The breath.
and your intent.
Yeah.
And you place that in a container with everyone else's containers. You put them together and watch what can be built. Yeah, and it'll be a really quick shift. But it's a message, it's a platform for peace on earth. And we're doing it again. We've done this before. We haven't sat in this room just in this lifetime. The three of us. We're having this fun on a universal stage of how do we create this much change overnight where we can stop endless and needless violence and suffering.
Oh, how about we all hold the same thought for a minute together now?
That's a great idea. And what comes up within this next moment or minute, that's where you need to pour the love from your own heart to your external self, because we all have wounds walking through this world that doesn't need to repeat. It's literally just pouring that energy of the eternal source into that gaping hole and saying, you are love, you are light, you are blessed, you are healed. It can be that fast these days. So what's your intent, Joe?
What is my intent? Well, I'm learning that what I just mentioned earlier, that at some stage you actually have to change the narrative of how you're playing or how you've played. And, there's always a lot of work in this area. And when I say work, I don't mean like hard work. It's decisions, making the right decisions and taking responsibility, not giving my power away, owning who I am, not being distracted by outside noise, so my intention moving forward is to be clear in who I am, and then from that space go from there. Because I think if I'm clear in who I am, then that's what people will feel, and hopefully that won't create the chaos that it's created in the past. Because everyone's a reflection of wherever you're at.
Yeah. I see you as you're speaking. I just see you as this lioness in such strength, in such purity, and such beauty, just holding a stand and holding a line and ensuring that your cubs are taken care of.
Yeah.
And it's a real, it's like a line in the sand for Mother Earth and all that belong here.
It's a funny one, because we both have been so lucky to have sat with women that have given me that strength from each. Oh,
yeah. It's
golly gosh. I'm just in such gratitude for each woman that I've sat before and heard their journeys, and I just don't want to fuck around anymore.
No.
You know? I have felt the unworthiness in each woman, and I've felt that in myself, and I see it in young women, and I go, I just don't want to play there anymore.
No.
You know, we are all here as unique individuals who have something special to give, and it doesn't have to be big and sparkly. You know, it can be just being certain in who you are. As simple as that. And
And that is such a huge gift. In what you have done, and you've done, Amanda, this year, is you've created a platform for such constant change for people. They can tune in every week, and they can have that consistent reminder. Be who you are. Konayanasia.
yeah.
And that collective energy can really light a flame. Because you're right, on our own we can get those little, we can get the hits of unworthy, and I can't do this, and I'm not brave enough, strong enough. But it is time to draw a line in the sand and take care of our own.
Yeah.
And that's something that's been very strong for me towards the end of this year. Is there is no more fucking around. It is time to call a spade for a spade and stand up for your right to exist.
I literally put my t-shirt into wear this afternoon for a treatment, and it says stand up, show up, get up, and it's from the NAIDOC a couple of years ago, but it's every time I put it on, it's just like you feel it's whoa. It's not
because we actually can't mess around anymore. There are forces on this planet that don't want that right to be exercised, and each one of us has a voice, and if we combine that voice with the love and the true light that we are, we create change. And you have a platform here that can just it's like it lights a spark in the night that is so bright and shines so powerfully into the darkness. And you take these women that are out there feeling disconnected or not at one, and you give them a bit of a home. Now it's time to speak. You have got a responsibility to speak and say that they cannot allow people to walk all over them anymore.
Hear this, ladies.
Say no.
And men, everyone. You are amazing.
And when you combine that love for who you know you are with the compassion that exists in this world, you can stand up.
I feel this huge energy around my throat and my heart and my chest, and I'm wearing Kuan Yin today when she's just like throbbing. Fierce passion, joy.
And she wants you to make sure that your intent is known, Amanda. In this world, who are you? Are you allowing...
Your voice has changed. I'm loving it.
Are you allowing this mayhem anymore, or are you going to be the woman that you came here to be and stand up for what's right? Stand up for peace on earth. Stand up for do no harm. Stand up for existence of the self and of the other. We have a right to be. And that's a right that we can't have taken away from us. We give it by choice.
That's so powerful, just that statement alone, because it's funny when we start to open up.
Thank you.
When we start to open up into those powerful areas.
It's like electrical storms everywhere.
There's like an energy that goes, no, you're not. There is an energy that just fires up at the same time. And then that's when I talk about the work, that's when the awareness, you need to just be on point to know that what is you and what's not you, because it will want to come in and distract you and take you off track and say, no, you don't do that. You do this stupid thing over here. That's how you've always
That's
played.
Pretty.
Yeah. So it's like the discernment and the awareness and everything has to
Commitment,
go to another
focus.
level.
Yeah.
putting all of it together.
Yeah.
It's everything that we have each learned in these past years.
Yeah.
Going forward is going to need to take shape in a different light. Like you said, create
Yeah.
a new narrative, create a new story.
Yeah.
And the voices of the women need to be heard now.
Yes.
Each one.
Yeah.
Well, I just wish, as you said, shared around sitting in space with you through these portals every month, Zara, and the women that have come through, and the man, the brother, every time, like, we don't really speak around our own experiences in relationship to their what they're sharing through their awakening journeys and what they're in each episode gifting. But you're basically reliving. I've felt like I've been reliving so many different episodes in my life and so many in lifetimes, and it's like a shedding, constant shedding and releasing and freeing out and activating. And I just wish that for everybody who is tuning in each week to hear these beautiful people sharing their essence, that that is the experience that they're having as well, because it's a beautiful, that's the energy of the magic of the energy, isn't it?
Kasito kunaya nasya. We can create change quickly. And it starts with the self. And that's what everyone's going through, is that real shedding the layers and shedding the tears and bringing back the heart and the joy and the love for the self and the other.
Yeah.
And when that's complete, and when it's not even quite there, it is time to roar, Mama Lions.
Yeah.
It is time to stand up and speak your truth.
Yeah.
You don't need to be 100% whole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
And that's a huge one.
Hell yes. Oh my God. That's a raw nerve.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And a
need
lot
to
of
be
people
perfect.
wait, don't they?
Yeah.
And that's a really beautiful point, because I'll do it when
Yes.
that when I is
I've
never
just got one
gonna
more
come.
thing to do and then I'll be more ready. Or,
Yeah.
this is like, work, it's not perfect yet. I can't share it.
Yeah.
I know that one too.
Yeah.
I think we all do in
Yeah.
some way, shape, or form.
Oh, yes. Just do
That
it.
moment's never going to come.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
But we're loving that statement at the moment. In the uncomfortableness is
Is-
where we...
That's when we know we're onto something.
Yes.
Oh, that's basically what we're
something-
calling
yeah,
it.
That's where... That's the GA term.
Yeah.
So a lot of us want to try and avoid that uncomfortableness.
And that's an interesting thing that the New Age has kind of put in play is, go where there's flow, go where you feel good, go where you feel
Yes.
comfortable. And that is not necessarily
where the change is.
a helpful thing.
Yeah.
It can be a bit of a distractor pattern to stay in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
And the uncomfortable nature of growth isn't necessarily
It's
all
not where
fun and
we-
games.
Yeah. Well, that's not where we learn the most. I mean, that's not to say that having flow is
It's
wrong.
part of the
it's
thing.
part of the thing.
Yeah.
But it's like not staying. If something is uncomfortable, don't
Retreat,
avoid it or
yeah,
retreat.
yeah.
Move into it.
Mm.
There's an opportunity in there too. Probably a bigger opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is always going to be opportunities, so we choose it.
Yeah.
What do we actually want?
Yeah.
Back to your intent. What do we actually want? And so we're doing this for the collective right now. I think in so many ways that's the most important thing that we can nail down at this time as we end the year. Yes, it's always the individual journey, but ensure that it's like you need to what I'm getting is nail the head in the coffin that change is on the way.
Oh, I love that.
So please state your intents very, very clearly
Yeah.
for the coming year.
Yeah.
What do you want to see move out? What do you want to see move in? Because you are the wave. Kasitukunayana sumaya. You and the others listening are the wave.
Yeah.
Each person on this planet has a role in the tide.
Absolutely.
And if you want the tide to change, put them all together and give them a momentum.
Yeah. Oh,
Give them a channel to stream down.
yeah.
Peace on earth, anyone?
I love these
It's like when you said that, it
portals.
was like offering. I instantly got a bit of chocolate. Like it's like offering a bit of chocolate. Here's your peace on earth.
Yes.
You know, it's like
the
it's
wine
that,
and the bread.
yes.
Would be, or chocolate,
Yeah.
whatever you choose.
Yeah. And so moving into this, like nail, because that's like, you know, it's done already. Nail in the coffin. That change is on the way. Like it's as simple as coming back to the intention, as Joe shared. You know, put that nail in, bang it in. Change is on the way. Don't need to worry about what it is. Now, what's my intention? Okay, where am I sitting?
Yeah.
Where do I want to be sitting?
Yeah.
Know it, be it, celebrate it. This holiday season,
Yeah.
celebrate. Peace on earth is here. Kasutu konaya nasya. You need to be the frequency of the change.
Literally,
Yeah.
that peace on earth. I was going to put Merry Christmas, and then I was like, I was putting the letters together, and then it was just like peace on earth just screamed in my head. I was like, okay. I was like,
Perfect.
it's a vibe. And so speaking of what's coming through, like you've been sharing, like we know next year's the year of the dragon and astrology energy, which is very fortuitous in all the ways. Magical, yeah. And you've been channeling through the energy, or like your light language, and you've created podcasts around it as well.
Yes.
So do you want to share a little bit around that? Because I feel that this is a part of where we need to move as well in our imagination space.
Yeah,
and
it's like unlocking ourselves, isn't it?
yeah,
Yes.
the inner child
Yeah.
and the freedom just to love.
Well, stepping back
Playing.
into that whole, believing in magic,
Yes.
because it's available where we've given up on it.
It's at play
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
It's just whether we bypass it or
Yeah.
step into it.
Yeah.
And, and choose and discern wisely, of course, as always, all things. But that's what we're learning as a society right now. You know, we are learning how to grow, how to become one with the universal energy fields and not give up our power, maintain the sovereignty, reclaim the sovereignty.
Yeah.
Right, and rebuild Earth as we would like to see it, because we've built this society by default.
Yeah.
Right, it's been controlled and harnessed to a certain degree, and now our collective consciousness can form in a different way to create a society that actually cares for one another in every sense of those words. So anyways, the Dragon Diaries podcast.
So just before you say
Yes.
that, because that just connected into the nail in the coffin for me. It was
Okay,
like
cool.
we've done enough of the unlearning.
Yes.
We've banged the nail in that. The change is coming. Let's get back into the relearning, but not in the way that we have ever done in the past.
Ah, yes, which is what Jesus said. He was all. That's exactly.
Chosen Ones fan.
Yes, I am. I'm the chosen fan. That's what he
Fantastic.
talks about, which really hit home for me the other day. Is that when he was telling the 12 disciples, don't even the 12 special
Apostles,
ones,
disciples.
that they actually had to let go of anything that they believed was true, because he was here to create a new earth, or to create a new way of heaven on earth,
Yeah.
the kingdom.
Yes.
And my mind was just like, oh, that's what's happening now. What?
And we've
Oh
been
my God.
we've been trying to do it for eons.
Yes.
Like we've been here before. We've been trying to do
Yes.
this lifetime after lifetime, some of us, and we're peace bringers. Right?
Yes.
You're peace bringers. You're way showers.
Yeah.
And we're doing it in a way that hasn't quite effectively caught on. So the challenge. It is a challenge. It's how can we each be this change that we want to see in such a profound way that we create it overnight, and we don't have to wait 20 years,
Yeah.
even 10 years, to see a real shift in society and the way business is done. And two things that are just popping up when you're on what you were saying, Joe, is I was driving over here, and that's the exact message I was getting, is it's time to let go of the past. Tell them to let the past be the past, let the present be the present, and let the future come as you would in any moment.
Yeah.
So it's move back here, right now. What do you want to see? Who do you want to be with? What do you want to bring? and anything that's created chaos in your life, allow it to leave and bless it on its way out the door.
How exciting.
Whether that's a way of being that hasn't served each one of us, or some circumstance or people, and bless it, love it, be really one with it, in the honoring, in the sacred space of it, that it has given you the propulsion to get to right here, right now, this moment in time.
And part of that,
Love that.
is about, really letting go of the word blame, blaming others, blaming people for the way I've been treated, or the way I am, or the way this went, or that's why this has happened to me. That is the work as well. It's about letting go of all of that.
It's huge.
That's the only way through.
And it's taking a higher perspective.
Yeah.
It's seeing over the trees, bird's eye view of what's really going on, which is these people that you're having conflict with, and we all have them. Each one of us has a relationship where we have difficulty. That is someone who is one of the greatest gifts in your life to help you grow.
Yes.
I'm really framing this with my daughter right now as we're really diving deep into that. You can't blame them. They are your greatest gifts.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they weren't in your life? You'd still be carrying this wound. It's here right now. We can heal it.
Absolutely.
You can completely change everything from this space. So thank
So
them.
beautiful.
Thank them. And that is a gift that sets us free.
Yeah.
Is when we can use the power of appreciation with
So
everyone
true.
in our life.
Yeah.
Regardless of how difficult it may be.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not a journey to get there, but that is the gift that we have for each other.
Absolutely.
Oh, hugest gift. So dragons.
Ooh.
Speaking of children, which we all are, being
Dragon
cute little
riders.
kids,
Yeah, and I think it's like these children that are coming in right now, we all know are really brilliant and blessed. And so are we all, right? We never want to hand our power down to the younger generation, because you have everything you need to create change on this planet as well. But there was a little boy that came, not little, but maybe 10, 11, came to me for a session, and a group of dragons showed up, and they were really beautiful, and they just wanted to say hi and say, hey, we're here, we're available to help you create a peaceful planet, and we're here to work with you if you would like, right? And so then and as I was sharing this with him, he's like, oh, I just drew a bunch of dragons on the paper. And anyway, so it really sparked and ignited this space where they showed up later on that day at my house, and it's just like, let's create a podcast. So we created the space for kids where they can be held with support in who they actually are.
Yeah.
Right. And we go into a lot of the dialogue around relationships and how to be a sovereign being in a way that lights you up and you can emotionally handle, and to how to balance relationships and how to balance the voice. And a lot of the transmissions that have been coming through is the peace and diplomacy. How do you use compassion and understanding to create a more harmonious home, school environment, friendship, relationship? When do you walk away? And then when do you use the lion's roar?
Yeah.
And how to use that lion's roar. And it feels really supportive for me, not just for young adults and children, but also the older generations.
Absolutely.
I've had a few women who said they just love it, and their inner child's glowing, because they never heard it. And so I feel, programs like yours, Jo, going into schools and giving that feedback, they're so essential right now. And when I was looking into, children's podcasts to hold spiritually gifted people, there's not much. I mean, there's a lot for adults, but these kids are really anchoring in a new timeline as well. Yeah. And we can get distracted and lost because we're just in a sea of goop.
Well, do we listen?
So
do we hear what they're saying and actually hear what they're saying, or do we just say, here it is, kids talking, blah blah blah, this and that, on with what's really important kind of thing, even though we're loving hearing them, but to really listen to their language. It's a different language to how we use words, or like the purity of the intention is so different often to when an adult will say the same words. There's so many hidden intentions or other intentions around, the same words. Children just play.
they've got it going on.
Yeah.
They know how to hold that space
Yeah.
of joy, and we try to interfere, with our best intents.
Yes.
We
Limit
kind of get in the way.
Yeah,
And,
so true.
speaking from experience,
Yeah.
and it's not necessarily ingrained yet in modern society to care for them in the way that we would like to be cared for.
Yeah.
So
Which is
we're doing our best.
Yeah.
Mm.
The parenting human role is a good one.
It's a journey.
It's a journey.
It's a big one.
It is a big one.
It's
Yeah.
a masterclass.
It is a masterclass because
Yeah.
not only are we attached to protecting our children, but that can be the biggest misconception, or limiting belief that we've had, because there are better ways of protecting our kids by, first of all, searching within and finding out who we are can be the biggest way, instead of putting fear in the space. And
It comes back to the word trust, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Trusting that they know, that we
Yes.
know, and that, yes, you're not going to let them run around the house with a sharp knife in their hands,
Yes.
but they can run around the house.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And, all those, just, lots of interpretations to
Yeah.
be more open to. And I love what the dragons bring through. Like for me, as soon as you say that word, what it brings through, because it feels mystical and it feels strong and it feels, dragons
Fun,
fly, they
yeah.
breathe fire, they, they have these big
Fast.
eyes where they lean down and look into your eyes, and the connection and
Yes.
everything. There's so much, you're fast, there's
Yeah.
so much
Wonder if
room
they'll
to
come
play
out.
there.
They might come out and play when we're all in that beautiful, peaceful place. They'll be like, "We feel safe. You're gonna come back."
They're already here.
Yeah.
So they're not necessarily in the third dimensional
Yeah.
timeline, but they're here and they're master manifestors and they want to co-create.
Yeah.
And so what I was seeing is that the ones that have been causing harm, who have been harnessed by darker forces, they're kind of all being dealt with, and it's the ones who are here now that are like, we're here to help.
Yeah.
Let us help. Let us create a new world. Let us do your tasks. Let us do your chores. Like, we're here to assist. And so I think for each of us, it's to feel in to that space and see where we can rely on beings who are very strong and assured in the co-creation of a new earth reality and a timeline that we all want. But it's an individual journey, I think, and it's an individual decision on who we connect with in every realm, and it's obviously a path of discernment and a whole other conversation. But we have gifts to connect timelines that we don't know about, and they're also here to show us that.
Can I ask, on that thing of the timelines, so I also associate dragons with like Merlin and the knights and the princesses, and
Yes.
obviously it's our fairy tales when we're younger and things like that. But is it a greater timeline than that for the dragons?
Yep, let me just jump into it, okay?
Great.
Okay, so they're master manifestors that became one with the universe when the universe was actually formed. So they know how to create space and time and space, in a completely different way than we do as human beings. They've mastered the mechanics of visualization and having art come to life. This is an artist's scape, the plane that we reside on. And they can assist in creation of the art forms that you want to build. So Merlin, princesses, King Arthur, none of that has any relevance. We're literally going back to the passages that time built, and what anchored in reality when master manifestors were allowed to roam the earth. That is the dragons. There are other sparks of light that went flying as well, But the dragons were able to breathe fire and life force into many, 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 many creations and civilizations. That's why you see them rampant in Asian cultures,
Yeah, right.
because their connections are still there. The Great Wall of China. How do you think they harnessed all that brickwork? They had a little bit of help. It wasn't necessarily on the third dimensional plane. But when dragons pick up energy and you let them help you throw, things go quite fast. Let's just leave it at that.
Thank you for sharing that. It was very beautiful.
Yeah, they harness visualization to the nth degree. That's what I see.
Amazing. Amazing.
So this year for Christmas, everybody, give your children a little dragon.
And ask them to create an intent for peace in their home, in their self, and earth.
That's so beautiful. Look, time has flown by, as it always does when we go into these beautiful realms of conversation.
That was pretty special.
That was really special. Did you want to add anything before we finish up?
I just want to say thank you to the both of you from all of us who have been on your podcast for creating this dynamic, healing, growing space. You are amazing. And I really look forward to seeing what 2024 brings for you.
Oh,
Yes, our
thank
summit.
you. Yay!
It's like literally like the magic
Breaths
coming,
away.
yeah.
The breath. There's so much happening at the moment behind the scenes. Zhara is featuring in the summit, as well as some other incredible guests that we're just so honoured with their service to humanity. It is literally how they're sharing themselves. It's incredible.
It's going to be the most beautiful way. Like, I feel so honoured that all these women have come forward
joyfully
and given us these beautiful offerings of videos, including yourself.
Yes.
That are just so magnificent and so...
it's going to be like a dragon breathing a huge breath out across the galaxy.
Yeah. And everything that we've just talked about is every one of these videos is going to support you to be the best version of yourself for 2024.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
and in the most simple, elemental, through the cosmic ways.
And the other part that I love is it's free. Every part of it is free. I literally, that's what brings me joy.
Yeah. Yes.
That, not one person has asked for any kind of exchange or any of that. It's just been really flowing beautifully.
Kind of what you shared today around the gifting of themselves.
Yes. Yeah.
And creating the expansion through that comes back to fulfill in that way, simply and purely as it can be.
Because healing isn't supposed to be charged, and we've been locked into this model, right? Yeah. And it's what it is, but I do feel a significant shift on its way in that regard. So well done for leading the charge there.
Thank you so much for that beautiful acknowledgement. We're just so grateful for you, Zhara. Really, it's you activate a space that is
deep.
Yeah. And so kind in the expansiveness of it. There's no fear in there. It's really just a really beautiful space that you open up and
it's peaceful.
Inspire people
very
to
peaceful.
Step into. Yeah.
It's
very supportive and very kind.
I appreciate the kind words, and I think and as you close, I do just want to make sure, because both of you turn it back to all the other wonderful wonderful healers and facilitators who are out there, but you two are both master manifestors, master generators, master timeline weavers, master change makers, and masters of your universe, and you really are incredible. So thank you for building this platform. Aww. And I know that's I'm being echoed by every single one of your listeners.
That's really beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Gunayana Sumaya.
I talk to
Gratitude.
spirit. She comes in my dreams.
Thank you for listening to our Girl Awakening podcast. We are also on YouTube as Girl Awakening. We'd love to see you there with comments on how our guests resonated with you or your own awakening. Please share the love with a like and subscribe while you're there. A blissful thank you to Ksenia Luki, the amazing artist behind our theme song. We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.